So I just finished watching the Rings of Power TV show, and this is going to be kind of my general appreciation of the show. Having read the Silmarillion, what are my thoughts surrounding the show. I feel like maybe if I had read the Silmarillion before watching Rings of Power, my enjoyment level might not have been the same, because for the most part I really enjoyed the show. Actually, it's not a great show, I'm going to say that right now. It's not great, but it's good. It's not as bad as people are saying. This show has a lot of hate right now. I get it, and the show kind of deserved some of it, actually, for real. But yeah, there's a lot of hate that I just don't understand why the show is getting this much hate, actually, because there are some really good elements to it. The main problem I have with the show, and I've said this in my previous videos, it has to do with the writing. Everything else is really good. The visuals are amazing for the most part. There are like one or two times where the visuals were not that good, but for the most part it was truly amazing. The music was really good. The acting is uneven, but there's a lot of great actors in here that I think that can pull it off and make it better. But really the writing needs to step up in season 2 because it's really uneven. The glimpse of greatness that we had in episode 6, is kind of encouraging, but at the same time it's the only episode that's really good. Not only good, but great. I really enjoyed that episode, and it's just a small glimpse of what they can do, and I hope that this is going to be kind of their goal, to top that episode in season 2, actually. There are some bad episodes, so mainly episode 5 and 7. 7 is just the worst of it. Everything that's wrong about the show was put in episode 7. I wish that they'll learn from that mistake and don't repeat it. Just, have better writers, I guess, or give them more money so they can develop more the story, actually. So I'm gonna go with my favorite characters and the characters I hated. I'm not going to talk about all the characters. I'm just going with these two things essentially. So I want to bring out the good and the bad out of the show, actually. So my favorite characters, I've put 4 actually. So Nori, I really liked her. I liked her arc actually, but not in episode 7 because she was bad. Everything was bad in episode 7. Let's just not talk about that episode again. But Nori, for the most part, I really enjoyed her character. I did like all the Harfoots. The other Harfoots were not that great actually, but Nori was really good, essentially. Durin, so at first I really hated Durin, so in episode 1 and 2, but he grew on me and I really enjoyed his character. The way the actor is playing the dwarf is actually really cool, and the relationship with Elrond was really great actually. And on with the third character that I liked, Elendil. Yeah, sorry, I almost mispronounced it. The only time where I didn't like him is in episode 7, I think. Yeah, in episode 7, when he learns that Isildur is quote-unquote dead. That part just didn't make sense because he's the commander of the army, so he has to be, in the moment and not thinking about grief yet. He has to put on a show and show this appearance of control, that everything's going to be all right. And this is the only part where I didn't really agree with the character, but that's just a small part. For the rest of the show, I really enjoyed this character actually. And the last one is the stranger, so Gandalf. I really enjoyed the relationship he has with the Harfoots. Him thinking he's a bad man, or maybe he's good, he's trying to do good and all of that. So I really enjoyed this character arc also. On with the characters that I hated though. Galadriel. I'm sorry, she's a bad character. Even in episode 8, like, she's a big letdown actually. I really hope that they make her a compelling character, because I think she can, even if she's that badass sword woman, fighting woman and all that. I do think that they could pull it off, but it's not just that she's this strong character. She's unlikable. She's treating everybody else like shit. So yeah, I really don't like that character actually. Other character. So for this one is characters plural that I didn't like. So the 3 sorcerers with Sauron. I think they're supposed to be Nazgul, but yeah, I get it. I didn't like the aesthetic though. They look dumb. They don't look menacing at all. I hope that the Nazgul are going to be better than these 3 characters. I really hated them. And the last one, but not the least, this is the single character that I hated the most. If you've watched my video, you kind of already guessed it. The High King Gil-galad. So the High King of the Elves, he is so dumb. He says the dumbest thing ever. He needs to go. Like, change actor. I don't care. Like, or I don't know, kill him right now. I really don't want to see that character again. He's just dumb. He's not smart at all. He's unlikable actually. And I just didn't really care about the other characters, or not connected with them, so that's why they're not really in here. There's a lot of stories that I didn't really cared for. So Theo, the relationship with his mother, so the guy that finds the weapon key thing. Yeah, I didn't really care. And the elf with them, actually, he's a good actor, but I just didn't care about the character. So I'm not gonna talk about all the other characters. As I said, it just really, some of these stories didn't interest me, or the characters themselves were not really that compelling actually. I don't mind that they're rewriting the history. The only thing that I really mind though is that they did a poor job at it, in my opinion. And this is where the hate is relevant in my mind, is that when you're rewriting a history as popular as Tolkien world is, you need to be really good at it and beyond reproach, which is something that's not the case in the show, unfortunately. I really hope that they do a better job in season 2. From what I've seen, from what I've read though, I don't think that they'll do it, because it's all the fault of the fans, unfortunately. It's not their fault that the show got so much hate. It's the fan that they are gatekeeping. And believe me, some of them are, and it's true. But at the same time, you need to be great. If you're rewriting such a popular story, you need to be better than just good. You need to be great. And unfortunately, that show is just good. It's not great, so I get the hate that it got. Actually, unfortunately, even though I liked the show, I cannot defend the show because it's just, yeah, you want to rewrite the story, make sure you have a very powerful story to tell and a very good story, and that your writers are really great at their job, because people are going to complain no matter what. Even if you're the greatest show, people are still going to complain about it because you changed their favorite story. And in here, you're just good, averagey kind of show, so you kind of missed the mark. You need to be better in season 2, actually. That's it for the review of the show. As I said, I still enjoyed it. I just hope that they do a better job in season 2. Please listen to the fans. Some of the complaints are not healthy or not going to help you to make a better show, but please still listen to the fans, because there are a lot of problems with the show that you need to fix. You decided to change the story. Now you need to do your job and make sure that this show is great and not just good. So yes, I'm sorry guys, there was a lot of tension here, but still I enjoyed the show, mainly maybe because I have hope that they can do a good job with it. Not necessarily, not only a good, but a great job with it. I just hope that they listen to the fans that are complaining about the show, because there are a lot of complaints that are valid. There are some of them that, in my mind, aren't, because there's just a lot of hate for the sake of hating something. But at the same time, they decided to change the story, so they need to make sure that what they decided to change is actually great and not just average and good. That's it for the review of this show. Next up, so right now I'm reading Ship of Fools by Richard Paul Russo. I'm like around page 100 or so, and I'll be talking about this book. My guess is next week. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.